Sure. All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is Daf Samachay.
Okay.
Maseches Nedarim. I believe we got the top line. Yeah.
Okay.
Tanya, we learn in a brayso. Hamoder hanam chavero. One who goes ahead and makes a neder to get from getting hana from his friend. So if the neder is associated with an individual, so the only way basically that to be matir is in the presence of that other individual. The other individual is involved, and therefore that person, in other words, not just the person who the vow is upon, but let's say there was something, right? If someone had a neder, he was going to go ahead and help a certain individual, and he wanted that neder matir. So he had to also, when he gets that neder matir, the other individual has to be around. No, not necessarily, but we'll soon see that basically it was done. So let's see. So there's two different reasons why this would be. One is basically to the person would be embarrassed to have the neder matir. If it's not from the person, if he promised to go ahead and help that person, then he'd be embarrassed to have it matir in front of him. So maybe he won't go ahead and matir the neder. Or it could be that's one reason. Another reason also brought down is brought down in the Ran. One to be embarrassed, and also the one. Let's see, what was the other reason? I think it was Shalmi. Right. Right. In other words, if the person is unaware and he thinks he violates the neder, and because he didn't know it was matir, so then he think that the person is a sinner when in reality he's actually not. So let's see, what's the source of this case? So Menahani Milli from where to know is from the second line at the top. Amar Rav Nachman the Chassid pasuk says, "Vayomer Hashem el Moshe b'midan lech shuv mitzrayim." So Kadosh Baruch Hu said, basically told Moshe Rabbeinu, as we mentioned, this the source yesterday, when he told him in Midian, basically matir your neder and go back because kimesu anashim, because those people died. In other words, you had a neder to your father-in-law, so go, and he's in Midian. So go ahead and matir your father-in-law, and go ahead and matir your neder in front of your father-in-law in Midian, and then come there. So you see that it was done in front of him. So it says, since you made the neder in Midian, the hater the neder in Midian, so too you should go ahead and matir your neder in Midian. The pasuk says, "Vayel Moshe." It says, "Vayel Moshe." What does it mean? Vayel Moshe. Ein Allah ela shvua. That is a lashon shvua. The pasuk says, "Vayavo." So the Allah. So it says over there by. This is by Tzidkiyahu with Nebuchadnezzar. It says that he came upon him with a ba'allah, right? And over there is referring to a shvua. So you see, ba'allah is referring to a shvua. So too, Vayel Moshe means that Moshe swore, and then he took the pasuk says, Vayel Moshe l'shevas es ha'ish vayited. Right now, he basically swore he was going to stay by Yisro, and then he went ahead and married Tzipar. Now, it says Vayel Zabalav the Gam Melech Nebuchadnezzar Morad. Also by the king of Nebuchadnezzar, he rebelled. Asher yishbiu belakim, that he swore in God's name. So so what does it mean that he rebelled against Nebuchadnezzar? So Ashkat Tzidkiyahu Nebuchadnezzar Dahavi Kachil Arnovo Chaya. So you saw that Nebuchadnezzar was eating basically he was eating a live rabbit. So Nebuchadnezzar saw that he was caught eating his sneaking in his favorite treat, live rabbit. Well, do me a favor, I don't want to be embarrassed. Do not go ahead and reveal this little secret. This little secret will stay between me and you. Swear in God's name that you won't tell anybody. So then Tzidkiyahu, okay, fine, he swore b'shem Hashem that he won't go ahead and reveal. So L'saif, in the end, have he come and started Tzidkiyahu b'gufei? He had different sufferings, and he was physically suffering because basically he needed to go ahead and divulge his information. So Idshel Ashvuah, he went ahead and he was shell for a shvuah, and he was to be matir as neder. The Omar, right? So and basically, so he had his neder matir, and then he basically told over the secret. So Sham Nebuchadnezzar heard that he basically Tzidkiyahu went out and embarrassed him by saying over the story that he eats live rabbits. It's Sanhedrin. So he came and he called upon the Sanhedrin. Tzidkiyahu and also Tzidkiyahu. So Amar Lohun, he said to them, did you guys see what Tzidkiyahu did? Lav hachi ishtava, the Shmei Shmaya. right? Did you know that he swore b'shem Hashem that he will not go ahead and reveal the secret? So relay. So they said, okay, yeah, but he was shel neder. So he was shel neder to you guys. So you Sanhedrin, so Amrlay. So Amrlay. So the Sanhedrin answers, says, yeah. So Amrlahu. Now Nebuchadnezzar giving the punchline. B'fanav filu shel b'fanav. Right? What's that luck when you're mating a neder? No, he made the neder in my benefit. Right, just like by Moshe Rabbeinu, when he made the neder, it was for the benefit of Yisro, and therefore the neder had to be matered in front of Yisro. So it's over here, Tzidkiyahu made the neder for the benefit of Nebuchadnezzar, that he won't be embarrassed. So therefore, if he was going to go ahead and have his neder matered, according to the halacha that we saw, they have to do b'fanav. Therefore, it should have been done in the presence of Tzidkiyahu. So he says, said the halach is b'fanav. Right? And you guys, what did you do? My time ago, why did you not tell him that it could only be done b'fanav? Why did you go ahead and be mater's neder? So miyad yashru la'aretz yidu ziknei basiyah. So immediately they sat upon the ground. They removed the thrones that they were sitting on, and they sat upon the earth in Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Shishamtu Karim Tachtem, right? They removed the cushions from beneath them. So that was a big mistake that the Sanhedrin made. Fine. Now you Mishnah. Now we had yesterday. We saw there was a machlekes. It was mentioned in the Mishnah by different psachim, different openings to a neder. One of which was Nola, right? Rabbi Eliezer says, Nola, you can go ahead and be mater, something, a new circumstance comes after, that can go ahead and be mater. Says the Chachamim, something which is Nola is not a mater, right? This cannot be mater than that. So Rameir says, Yesh Dorm Shein Kenoilad, Veina Kenoilad. There are things that are like Noilad, right? In other words, that they basically come post. Or we'll soon say it, right? Well, actually, I don't want to say that. There are things that are nolad, things that are considered to be nolad, born, right? And normally nolad doesn't work. However, they're not like nolad because nolad normally doesn't work except for the sheet of Rabbi Eliezer. But says Rameir, these things, even though they're like nolad, they actually do matter a neder. And the Chachamim say no, it's not true. Ketzad. What are such cases? So Amar Kainim Shanina says, Plainis, I will not go ahead and marry the daughter of so and so. The father is a wicked man, so I will never marry his daughter. So Amar Mace, Oshasa Chuba, he died, or he's no longer wicked, or he says, Kainim the Bais Shani Nichnas, I will never enter this house. Right? The dog that lives in the house is nasty. I'll never go in the house, or a snake that's there. Bite me. So Amarloi, Meis Hakelav, Nachash, right? The dog died or the snake was killed. Hare Hein Kenoilad Veina Kenoilad, right? Those things are like Nolad. It's like a new situation that occurred, right? L'chayr will soon say, perhaps after the neder was made. And Veina Kenoilad, in other words, it automatically matirs the neder. The neder is good. It's the machlekes rishonim as to whether it has to go ahead, and the Rambam brings up machlekes as to whether it has to go ahead and be shoyl it, or if it's automatically matir. But nevertheless, it's a pesach to this neder. However, the Chachamim do not agree. The Chachamim say no, this is not a pesach.
So they're saying it's still a nola.
It's still a nola, and therefore it doesn't matter the neder. Right now, Zok the Gemara. So Kainem Shani, so Shani B'chuli. So the case, let's say the father guy says, I will not go ahead and marry this girl. Kainem for marrying and getting hung up on this father from this girl because the father's wicked. Umeis. So Nailad who? So Amar Avona, what's the reason? Nasa Kitoila Nidra B'davar. What's the reason? It's not Nailad. The reason why it matters is not because it's Nailad. No, it doesn't work. It's because basically the neder was Taila. The neder said, right, as long as the father is wicked, it's like a tanai. As long as the father is wicked, the daughter is usher to me. The father is no longer wicked, i.e. he's dead or did tshuva. So the tanai, the condition of the neder no longer exists, and therefore it's matter. So that was Rav Huna. No, he says, when he made the neder, the guy was already dead, or he already did tshuva. He didn't know, so it was a toast. The whole thing was a toast, and therefore it doesn't work. So turn the page. So Mesa Rabbi Abba has a question. You can go ahead and look at tomorrow's daf. There's a mission over there where it says Kainim Sheni Naisa Leplainis Kura Varina. A guy says, I will not go ahead and marry this certain woman because she's ugly. And it turns out she's actually beautiful. Or she's dark. No, she is, which is a bad thing. No, she has, lighter complexion. Tzara, she's short. No, but the whole she's tall. So mutter, he's mutter. No, it's not because she was ugly and then became pretty, or she was dark and then benasa levana and became lighter complexion, or katar benasa rucha, she was short then she had a gross. But Ella, rather the nether was done on complete toast. He didn't have the facts with him. He didn't know the facts. Had he known the facts, he never would have made the nether. So B Shlomo Rav Huna, I understand according to Rav Huna, Damar Nasa Ketayla Nidra B'Davar, who says that the reason why it matters is because basically it's like a condition of the nether. So Tana Toya B'Nidra B'Davar, but Tana Nether B'Tos. So it's a reason why our Mishnah teaches basically you make your nether upon condition. Once a condition is no longer there, then the nether is not there. And that Mishnah later on talks about if you make a nether on mistaken information, on fake news. But according to Rav Yechanan, Domar Kvar Meis, but according to Rav Yechanan, who says that even our Mishnah is talking about a case where you went on the fake news, on mistaken facts. Why do you have to have two cases on Nether B'Tos? Same thing. Kasha. Mar says, okay, good kasha. Fine. Now your Mishnah. Zak the Mishnah of Oid Omer Rab Meir. Furthermore, Rab Meir says, "Pais Chilay Min Akasav." You can even use a pasuk to go ahead and matir Shem Torah. A pasuk in the Torah to be matir. A guy makes it that I will not go ahead and help so and so. He's dead to me, and I will not ever help him. Eli, you see a day, Shata either. Hey, you ever heard about this pasuk? Right? You can't go ahead and take revenge upon your friend, or you can't hold a grudge. He says, you can't hate him in your heart. Love him as yourself. Right? Or the pasuk of that he should live amongst you. You should support him. If the person is poor, you have to go ahead and support him. So you have violated these psukim by this neder. Would you still make this neder knowing that you violated this psukim? If he comes poor, then you won't be able to go ahead and support him and violate the pasuk of Amar. So the guy who made the neder says, I never would have made a neder in that case, right? And therefore, these pasuk can act as a pesach. Right? Zak the Gemara. Well, you can't be master right against the Torah, but this wasn't necessarily. In other words, the other cases are a situation when the person needs. I'm not. It's not direct. It's not saying like tefillin is usher or something like that, right? It's something that. If the guy is poor, right, then you will come to the position of violating this pasuk, which the Gemara is actually going to ask. So I'm going to Rav Huna ba Rav Katina Rabbanan Senema Kol Demanu Lav Alayna. I don't understand why is this even a violation of the pasuk? Is everybody who's poor falls upon him? Samai Dematali the Parasa Bahadi Kulam Parasile. I understand why is it upon me? I can go ahead and give to the Shechal Chesed Fund. And let him go ahead and collect from there. Why? It's not a violation. He can't get hana for me. I'm giving to this organization and let him collect from the organization, right? Why does he have to come to me, right? So why am I violating the pasuk? So when it comes to a person who's naifel to tzedakah, so gabay tzedakah is last resort. So first, really, a person turns to his neighbor first before he goes to the to the communal. The communal is a last resort. So therefore, in this case, really the chiyuv is upon you. Is upon you before he even goes to the gabay tzedakah of the town, and therefore one would violate potentially the nether, and therefore he says, "Hey, I don't want to violate it," and therefore we matter the nether in such a case. Fine. Mishnah. Also, another excuse is the guy has to go ahead and pay up his wife's ksuba. In other words, let's say he makes a nether, and all of a sudden, basically, the nether will bring him to now he has to go ahead and divorce his wife, and he has to go ahead and divorce his wife, then he has to go ahead and pay her ksuba. Hey, all of a sudden the guy has a big bill. So I never would have made in that case, right? I just wanted her to leave me alone.
Oh, I forgot about the Tosefes.
Right. So let's see. Let's see about Tosefes. A guy made another from his wife. She got anything off from him. So therefore, he basically was commanded to go ahead and divorce her. It was 400 dinar, right, which is extra. Rabbi Kiva came for Rabbi Kiva. He says, "Hey, this is you signed a document. You made this nether. You got to divorce her. You got to go ahead and pay her 400." Right, my father left me 800 dinarim. Right, he left it. So my brother, we were two brothers. My brother took 400, and I took 400. So lo daish detail he masayim and he masayim. How about this? At least let her take 200. I'll take 200. So we'll split it, right? 50-50. Even if you go ahead and sell your hair to go ahead and pay, you owe her ksuba. I don't care what you're left with, even only the hair in your head, right? So it doesn't make a difference. Even if you have to go ahead and do it, you have to go ahead and pay her. So had I known this, I never would have made this nether. Therefore, Rabbi Kiva was not there in the nether. Fine.
Do they take IOUs?
No IOUs. He has to go ahead and pay. Well, let's see. Do they take IOUs? That's a good question. Let's see this. All right. So metaltally, wait, first of all, you said the father left 800. He paid $800 cash, right? $800 cash. Each one took 400 or whatever you want to call it, 800,000, whatever it is. So why does that money have to go to the ksuba, right? So that's mishabad. That's metaltalin. That's movable property, cash movable property. So Rabbi Karka Shava Chesmeos. No, it wasn't that he left 800 cash. It was he left land worth 800, and each brother took 400. Chesmeos dina. I Vaktani Ser Reisho. It said even if you have to go ahead and sell the hair in your head, right? You have to use that money to go ahead and pay her. I have to say a relation with Talta. No, that's also movable property. It's not attached to the ground. So Achikam has means to say, even you have to, you're only left with nothing, and you have to sell your hair in order to go ahead and eat. We don't care. You got to go ahead and pay it. So Shmamida. So let's learn from here. Ein Mesadin Lebalchov, right? Speaking of IOUs, right? That we're not Mesadin Lebalchov. It's a machlokas as to whether one has to go ahead and he's obligated to go ahead and pay his friend or pay somebody else. Now, whether do we care what he's left with? Let's say he's left penniless, right? Maybe we don't collect it all. Maybe we do an IOU, pay him half now, and we get the money later on. You pay him later on. So maybe over there, that's learn a proof that we don't care. We don't take into account the IOUs. You got to pay it all now. So Rav Nachman, Rabbi Yitzchak, Leimar. So he says no. Shein makrin shtar ksuba means that no. Maybe we take it into account. And maybe he doesn't have to pay her all 400 right now. We leave him a little bit, but we don't tear up the document. We don't just say, hey, we'll leave him with, leave him with 100. She'll take 300 and we'll tear it up. No. Even if we have to leave him a certain amount for him to go ahead and support himself, right? Let's say all he has is 400 and she takes 350. We'll leave him with 50. There still is an IOU, perhaps, on the other 50. And therefore, so it's not a proof of either way. And therefore, but he's obligated to pay. And this could be used as a Pesach for to be mounted in the nether. All right, we'll stop here.
Okay.
Everybody. So tomorrow, Hashem.